Hi, my friends. This is Lada from astrolada.com with your August 2018 astrology horoscopes for the 12 signs. What a crazy summer! You're probably experiencing it already. It's intense with all the eclipses, with Mars and Mercury retrograde. They continue in August. This is the last very intense month of this year. Very karmic, very fated, but this is also the last month when you can turn your life around and when you can make big changes in your life. So don't miss this time. Yes, it's intense, it's difficult. No one likes changes. Well, not no one, but most of the times. But you can make something amazing. It can be extremely productive and transforming month. And of course, one of the most important events is that we have the solar eclipse, which is happening on the 11th of August in the sign of Leo. It's with Rahu. Solar eclipse is about new beginnings, guys. Especially with Rahu. Rahu is material in nature when a Rahu causes a solar eclipse, which means it will bring some tangible, material, new beginnings in your life over the next 6 months in different area of your life, depending what sign you are. We'll speak about that, and some big changes in that area of your life. It's one of the last chances to make a big new beginning in that area of your life where the one of the last Leo eclipses is happening there. So important time. Yes, it can be unsettling, it can be scary because you're entering into uncharted new territory, and everything new feels scary, but at the same time, maybe you're overdue for a change there. At the same time, we have Mars and Mercury retrograde. And Mars is extremely close to the Earth. You can see it when it rises on the western horizon at night, like a bright, red, angry star. And sometimes I would confuse it even for a plane, it's so bright. And when Mars is so close, all the fire in us increases. So we become much more, kind of retrograde planet. Many astrologers says, oh, it's not going to work at all, you're not going to have any ambition, any drive. No, no, no. Retrograde planet pushes you the limits, and Mars is about willpower, drive. And of course, with all that fire, it can misfire. We can create conflict, we can be more prone to accidents, to burns, to cuts, more prone to fighting with people that have longer consequences. But this fire is given to us to make something out of it, and in particular to make some feat of courage, because Mars rules courage, something that you not have the energy or the will to do at other times, because Mars is so much stronger. Some feat of courage, some feat of assertiveness, some feat of strength that you can achieve, some feat of physical or other kind of energetic strength, some feat of so something that you can use this willpower, feat of willpower. And but again, as I said, too much fire can overpower rationality, and we can do some too passionate actions that we later regret for. But I would advise you use this fire to fix some problem in your life, to use this willpower and this assertiveness to tackle issues that you haven't had the courage or strength to do before. This is what retrograde planets are about. And try not to succumb to the temptation to fight, to retaliate, to bicker, to be overly dramatic, and be careful for little accidents as well. But the ultimate goal of Mars retrograde is much more positive. And we'll speak about each sign where it is happening. And it's actually going in Capricorn. And it's turning direct only in the last 2 days of month of August. So it's mostly retrograde the whole August. And then you have Mercury retrograde till the 19th of August. And Mercury is about communication, about talking, about information. So you might have to be working on something using 3 times more of your skills, which what Mercury rules, 3 times more of your communicative abilities, of your ability to, to explain things, of your ability to use your hands or your mind or your skills in some way. It's more challenging when a planet is retrograde because we have to use 3 times more energy. So maybe some of you will be using 3 times more energy and skills to fix some communicative errors, some administrative errors, to organize, to manage, to prepare something, to put final touches, to complete some mercurial projects, which are of the mind, of writing, of speaking, of communicating, of business commercial transactions. So you're fixing something there while Mercury is retrograde till the 19th. And of course, we have, though, a lot of support as well, because we have Jupiter, amidst all those difficult influences, the solar eclipse, Mercury and Mars retrograde, you have two very beneficial influences. So the universe is kind to us. It doesn't just burden us with one after another difficult influences. It gives us a helping hand. And one of them is the Jupiter trine Neptune. The whole month it is active. The whole month they're within a degree from each other, from the orb, and they're happening in water signs. Extremely healing influence. I've given some keywords. Easy flow, we'll speak about each sign where you're going to experience this easy flow, this healing, help from somewhere, divine help. It might be almost like divine intervention, something happening by magic, spirituality, healing, kindness, tolerance. You can experience all those things. It's very emotionally soothing. It kind of gives you sense of happiness within in certain areas of your life, and things happening like by magic. And then there is another trine, very rare one, between Uranus and Saturn, which is active the whole August, again in earth signs this time. And earth signs are material manifestation. So in certain other areas of your life, you'd have groundingness, you'd have productive results, material results. You're going to have easy material results because it's an easy aspect. And you're going to have you're going to build up something new on top of something old, strengthen old foundations by incorporating something new, and that is not going to destroy old foundations in your life. It's just going to build up upon them. So we do have some helps, and now let's see how it is going to affect each of the 12 signs. So let's see how Virgo is going to be affected by all those important influences in August. Well, you have, first of all, Mercury retrograde till the 19th of August in your 12th house. And Mercury rules you, it's your planet. And when it's in the 12th house, it's kind of, and Mercury is all about details, attention to detail, just like you have Virgos, about practical things, about clear communications, about down-to-earth things, business transactions, that you need to be more careful. But the 12th house is the opposite. It's kind of house where we're lost, where we're confused a little bit, where we miss things. So just be more careful, because certain mistakes that were made in the past while Mercury is retrograde will come to the surface. There might be an omission of some details if you've been working on some project or something, or maybe you've given your password away and now you're seeing the consequences of that, or maybe and something dodgy happening behind you because someone took your passwords, or send emails to other people from your name. These are the more complicated things that can happen with Mercury retrograde in your 12th house. Plus, for example, it can be a bit like a broken telephone. Someone says something, you misunderstand them, you say something else back. There can be some misunderstanding in communications, in written, verbal, spoken communications, all kind of sorts, emails, whatever. So you have to just put more effort to stay on top of the details. And plus, Mercury rules all communication devices, laptops, phones, 12th house, the house of loss. Be careful not to lose them, or someone steals them, or you misplace them, or you forget your passwords. Those kind of things can happen. But at the same time, 12th house is the house of completing something, ending something, because it's the last house before yours, where Virgo is. So you might be working behind the scenes in a more private area, maybe more alone, because the 12th house is about doing something alone, that you are researching something. It's a good time till the 19th to research some information more in depth, because 12th house is very intuitive, and if you're doing some research, which Mercury likes to do when it's retrograde, you delve very deeply, and you understand it almost like intuitively as well. It can be also a good time to complete some project, as I said, especially some project with the hands, or business or commercial project. But again, there might be the need to fix something, to use extra efforts. And don't bring it out to the public before Mercury turns direct, actually before even Mercury comes into your sign, which Mercury will come into your sign, Virgos, from the 7th of September. So if you're working on something behind the scenes, if you're preparing something, the retrograde period it requires you to use a lot of your efforts and then bring it to the world. In the first house, very visible when Mercury comes there from the first week of September. But before that, you might feel a little bit more like kind of missing certain things, certain information, details that you have to go and dig out, or that might create some complications and confusions. But it starts improving after the 19th, when Mercury starts moving direct. Or maybe you might be delving into the past as well. 12th house is the house of the past lifetimes, or things that you've buried as memories. And that this Mercury retrograde can awaken those things to the past for you to communicate about them, to bring buried things from the past to discuss them. And the 12th house is your sleep as well. So you might be super active in your sleep adventures, your sleep can be kind of bringing you back to old things, to recapitulate old things, old situations that repeat in your dreams, maybe to give you some clarity of some sort, you know. But also the eclipse is happening there. And this eclipse is one of the last ones in your 12th house of the same nature. They would repeat again in only 18, 19 years from now. And eclipses, especially north node eclipses, this is the north node here that looks like a little penis. That's how we, it's kind of, that's how we show it in astrology. But it's about totally new beginnings. And the 12th house, though, is the house of endings. So how do we reconcile those two things, Well, you can, and this eclipse will be active for 6 months after that. So it can be almost like, how do I say, like cutting and something from the past for you, because the 12th house is the past, and this north node eclipse can disconnect you from that, and you're like, I'm no longer, this thing is no longer in my life, I'm no longer emotionally connected to it, I'm no longer, you just you don't release it or let it go, you just cut it off. The north node acts like that. It's like, something new appears and it substitutes it, so it allows you to let go of something of the past. But the North Node is about also giving you results, material results. So maybe you're completing some project that will give material results over the next 6 months as well. That's another way it can play out, and that is quite significant in some way. 12th house, again, is the house of breaking away from responsibilities and duties. It's about kind of about exploring your inner self, the subconscious. So you can introduce some more progressive methods, some new, because the North Node is about something new, progressive. In regards to exploring your subconscious, in regards to exploring your spirituality, North Node is about something foreign as well. So you can start on a journey of spiritual exploration that is different from your original religion, that is very new spiritual journey of some sort, that is kind of almost like ambitious spiritual journey, because Rahu is very ambitious, that can implement some kind of sorry, I lost my thought there. My mind is a bit foggy already. The 12th house is also faraway countries and faraway travels. So there can be some powerful new beginnings in your life over the next 6 months, started by this eclipse, which happens in a faraway place. Maybe you can relocate to the state on the other side of the state, so you can relocate to another country, or it can bring new beginnings and you receive something in regards to settling abroad. It can unlock something. If there was no change for many years, you maybe wanted to go and study abroad or live abroad or something. Now this eclipse can trigger this, can unlock the possibilities for you to travel abroad, or for longer stays abroad as well of some sort. And as I said, new spiritual practices, new spiritual journey exploration as well. Okay. And new ways to relax. 12th house is relaxing, so maybe totally new, very different than what you've been doing. Ways to relax and to release pressure and tension. That is the 12th house. Okay, so this is about the eclipse, but many Virgos, if you have your sun in Virgo, would often have their Venus or Mercury also in Leo, sorry. So if your sun is in Virgo, make sure that to check where your Venus or Mercury are, because if they happen to be in Leo, that eclipse can totally make new beginnings. If it's your Venus, in regards to your love life over the next 6 months, they can be like the end of a marriage, the start of a marriage, the start of a new committed partnership, the start of a very important relationship. Venus, if it's Mercury, they can be um, uh, the start of a new business commercial activity, the start of a totally new skills that you're learning, starting some classes to study something as well, new contacts that you create as well, new writing or speaking projects that you do over the next 6 months with this uh, eclipse. All right, so then we have two very supporting trines that I spoke at the beginning about. Uranus is making a trine to Saturn the whole month, and it's happening in your fifth and ninth houses, Virgo. Well, it's stabilizing and grounding influence. So, and the fifth and the ninth houses are very positive houses. They are connected to our good karma, to our good luck, and something can appear that stabilizes, something new can appear, which is Uranus, that stabilizes for you a relationship, especially romantic relationships, one that are before the stage of getting married. And even something new can take the relationship and stabilize to the next level, like a child. Fifth house also rules children and pregnancies, or some new opportunities. Ninth house is about opportunities, new horizons, can spice up your love life. Maybe some traveling. Ninth house is about traveling to foreign countries, or starting to study something else, or um, discovering new inspiration, which again can spice up or can improve on your relationships with loved ones, um, and can improve on if your romantic life especially has been more difficult and stale, which Saturn in the fifth house can tend to do. Something you would add up, and it's good time now in August to add up something new, something more inspirational that opens new horizons for that. Plus, there can be some new inspirations, ninth house, that allows you to build upon already started creative projects and to incorporate it into those creative projects. For example, if you have your own business and you're running it, this is the fifth house. And if this business is already established but it's a bit stagnant, you can now you can take a course, or you can get some new knowledge or some new inspiration, and new horizons to open for this business, to stabilize it, to strengthen it, to build upon those new things on the old. And the fifth house is connected to your own business because it's where you use your creative intelligence. Or if you have some creative projects, the Uranus trine to Saturn can spice them up, or can uh, bring some great new ideas that it's not going to destroy your creative project and you have to start all from scratch. No, because it's harmonious, it builds upon it. Or maybe you receive some advice from someone, from a coach, from a mentor, which is the ninth house, which brings you some inspiration for something creative, or to have more, to enjoy yourself more, to find more joy in life. Or maybe you can receive inspiration, um, how to improve your love life, for example, as well. All right. And there is another very stabilizing, um, and also new educational opportunities can somehow create more luck in your life. If there are any educational opportunities for you Virgos, take them. If there are any opportunities to travel, take them, because they'll create more fun in your life as well. Fifth house is fun, and this old stagnant Saturn that's been there for almost now a year, half a year in your fifth house, would really benefit from some kind of more spicing up your fun and love life and enjoyment, and Uranus is helping with that basically. All right. And on another level, there's another trine happening the whole month between your third and seventh houses, between Jupiter and Neptune, which is in water signs. So very emotional communications with others in your third house of communication and seventh house of partnerships, but in a very bonding way. These emotional communications where you kind of you open yourself, you share with another, and where there feels like there is more merging between you and your partner. When there feels like there will be more open communication between you and your partner, that heals If there is some difficulty in a relationship, this more open communication can heal it of some sort. And they can be even like a magical appearance of a partner in your life. If you don't have anyone, it can be a business or personal partner. I think it might be more on the side of emotional connection with someone because it's in water signs. But you know, Virgos also have business partners, of course. So something very easy can happen to seal some contract, third and seventh house, to seal some business deal, to make some agreement, to complete some agreement in a very positive way, in an easy way as well. uh, and maybe even wait a little bit till Mercury turns direct to fully, unless it's been something that's been going on in the workings for the last few months, for example. Then you can complete it even during Mercury retrograde. But the trine between Jupiter and Neptune guarantees that it's kind of like a gift from God, or it's going to happen easy. The signing of some contract, some agreement, some business transaction that happens, and your personal life when it comes to good relationships with others. You can even receive some support in regards to relationships or from a partner somehow. Also, your good communicative abilities, Jupiter in the third house, can help you attract more clients. Neptune in the seventh house. And again, it's going to happen magically almost. You can also have good times with others, whether it's schoolmates, workmates, friends, third house, or with your partner. Just there's good flow of energy there, smoothly, healingly. And you can feel almost like a spiritual connection, deeper spiritual connection, more meaningful connection with people in your life, because those are houses of other people. And if you're looking for popularity, it can come like magically almost. If you're trying to put yourself out there in the public eye, seventh house, or if you're trying to put yourself on media, social media, or something like that, which is the third house. So any media project where you also have to appeal to a larger audience, the seventh house, will be well received and should go smoothly as well. So there we go, Virgos. Yes, the eclipses, especially if you have Venus in Virgo, Mercury in Virgo, can shake you up a bit. But again, it's the ultimate goal. It is for good to introduce something new. And there's a lot of other helpful aspects that will be there to give you ample opportunities and ability to heal and to stabilize your life. So thank you so much.